Hello and welcome everyone to today's Data Science Career Workshop. These sessions are an integral part of Learn, Earn and Return, the program we offer at AlmaBetter. We conduct these sessions every week where we invite folks from the data science community to connect with data science enthusiasts like you guys, explore what data science looks like on the ground for working data scientists, what problems we solve on an everyday basis. Also, it's a very good opportunity for you young learners to ask all your burning questions to these industry experts that we have on the panel. I am your host, Ekta Maheshwari. I work as a lead data scientist with data and AI team at Accenture Baltics. It's an integral part of Europe where we help clients embrace new sustainable solutions around today's data-driven business world. Along this, I am a data science educator at AlmaBetter, where I teach and coach aspiring data enthusiasts to build a career in the space of data. That being said, let's welcome our guest for today and a very dear friend of mine, Mr. Pinak Kapalia. Hey, Pinak, how's your day
Hey,
going?
hi Ekta, hi everyone. Thanks for asking. My day is quite nice until now, and it's weekend, right? So uh,
Yeah,
it is kind of the best time for working people, right? Because these are the 2 days that we kind of get to connect with ourselves. Apart from that,
absolutely.
it's all work, work, work. Yeah,
Yeah, good, good. So glad that you could join. To
yeah,
all our learners and attendees, Pinak is a senior data scientist with more than 8 years of experience in the field of analytics. He started from mechanical engineering, did some work, did some amazing groundwork there, moved into data science, and now he has a very he's associated with Dun and Bradstreet and has an immense experience working for early stage startups, Fortune 500 companies, and has delivered state of art ML and AI products. So great to have you here. I'm really excited to be having our conversation today, Pinag.
thanks a lot for having me as a panelist today.
All right. So I think there would be three topics that we would be talking about today. First is what are the sought after skills to be great in data science? Discuss your philosophy on how important is honing soft skills along with the major skills required. And third is something where to begin with regards to learning those soft skills, right? Like I know teaching is your passion, and and getting students up to data science, up to speed up to data science and learn the concepts is something that you, I think, concise and desire to do that in your free time, Pinag.
Yeah.
So I think it would be great to know your philosophies on it and how do we improve every day. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thanks
So,
for
but
asking.
before,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Please.
yeah, please go ahead. So before we get into that, I'd like to find a bit about you, as in, would like to know your path, what specifically, led you here and how was the journey?
Yeah, so basically, I was kind of intrigued by a question, but I guess it was Vishal, right, who asked us that he
Yes,
belongs to mechanical field, right? So
I'm sure, like Vishal, that we have many others as well who's been from mechanical and
yes,
not just
yes,
mechanical, like very different non-data science background.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
So,
So the thing is like, it's not just for Vishal, but for anyone, right, who is kind of trying to change his field, right? Even
right.
even I do belong to mechanical engineering, right? I've done it from Nagpur University. Thereafter, I pursued my master's in automobile engineering from NIT Warangal, right? And thereafter, I came into my corporate field, right? So I kind of worked for one company, and after having worked for that, I switched into professorship, right? So I worked as an assistant professor for nearly 3 years in my life, right? Now the thing is like, guys, being from a mechanical background, and then I did a post grad in automobile engineering, right? So that was sort of even my concern when I wanted to switch my field, right? Above that, right? Above that, I was working as an assistant professor, right? So I was not also working in corporates when I decided to switch this field, right? So the thing is like, as Vishal raised the query that is there any scope? Yes, there is scope, right? There is scope. You can say yes, there is scope. Just that it will be kind of a treacherous path for you, because see guys, when it comes to mechanical engineering or even electronic engineering or other branches of engineering, the thing is like, we have not been coding for our entire lives, right? We are kind of, I'm saying just kind of, right? We have not been totally left behind, but yes, as far as coding guys are concerned, we are kind of left behind, because they have honed these skills over 4 years, right? And they guys turn out to be geniuses in this field. But believe me, when it comes to machine learning, when it comes to first of all, machine learning basically means what it is combination of statistics, mathematics, and soft skills, right? So statistics should not, as we are engineers or even from guys from non-technical background, right? I won't say that none of you is aware of statistic. If I ask you mean, mode, median, at least you'll be able to tell that, right? And that is the case with everyone who begins this journey of data science, right? Don't think that anyone who is coming from engineering background is always aware about every statistics in there. No, no, no. Even we are just aware of mean, mode, median, right? So statistics can be learned. Coding, when it comes to Python, half of you might have come across Python coding, and you might be knowing that learning Python from scratch is comparatively easy compared to all the other languages like Java, C, all these
Hmm.
things. I'll be frank with you guys, right? It's comparatively easy, right? And the third thing, soft skills, again, those need to be developed, right? So it is not the case that if you are coming from any different background, you won't have opportunities. So first of all, you need to take this out of your mind, right? Because the person whom I contacted, I asked him whether there is any scope of me getting into machine learning, right? I asked him. Even he had some experience in machine learning, right? So I asked him, will it be possible for me to get in? So what he told me, his flat answer was a very simple answer, right? If you don't try, you won't, right? If you don't try, you won't. So basically, yes, you do have opportunities. You can get into this field. Just the thing that you need to try it with full heart, right? First thing. Secondly, even if you come from a non-technical background, I do have examples. Pay attention to what I'm saying. I do have examples of people who have come from a non-technical background and are now switched as are working successfully as data scientists, right? So if at all you do have this thing in your head that whether I'll be able to do that, just keep it out of your head, right? You will be, right? Just that you need your dedication. And the thing is, for everything, not only for data science, not only for machine learning, for any role that you do in your life, for any job you do in your life, for any education that you take in your life, dedication is required, right? So even I'll be telling you the same thing, that a bit of dedication, right? A bit of dedication, a bit of work is required, and you will be able to ace this. Believe me, right? I'll give that to you in writing, right? Now, my journey to machine learning was actually when I was kind of into assistant professorship. There, I'm not kind of being biased to any field, guys. Right? Just the thing is, what I personally thought is that for me, there was not too much kind of value addition in that field. Right? So basically, what I learned over and over again, I was teaching that. Right? Just some subjects plus minus, they were value addition for me, right? So, and basically I was not happy with that. So way back in like 2014, 2015, yeah. This machine learning, this word was in buzz, right? This word was in quite a buzz in that time, right? So
Hmm.
even I tried to. I mean, I did not at that time. I did not decide that okay, I'm just getting into machine learning. No, that's not the case. First of all, I made a research. Right, I made a research. So I conventionally applied the analytic skills in order to get into this field. So basically, what I did, I made a research and tried to understand that whether this field is actually the one that will suit me or not. Right, now I did a research for quite some time. I was able to convince myself that okay, once I get into this field, there's some hard work that I require with my current job, right? Don't I won't insist any one of you to leave your job if at all you're working, right? I won't insist any one of you to leave your job. That is suicidal, right? We'll never do that. With my current job, I persuaded myself that okay, with some less partying on Saturdays and some less trips, I think I will be able to get pull off this course, and then maybe I should try, right? But I had my job in hand, so having the job in my hand was a backup, right? Then I mainly shifted my focus from my current job towards learning this, right? So that's why even if you had come into my sessions, which I generally take on AlmaBetter, I insist you to keep on practicing whenever you get time, right? That is the crux behind it. You need to do that whenever you get time. Whenever I used to get any fraction of time within my job, I used to kind of pounce on my laptop and then start coding, right? Because I knew I did not come from a coding background and I needed to do that extra work, right? I needed to do that extra work. So that sort of dedication was what I gave. And finally, just when I began, within an year or so, I was placed into my first company as a machine learning engineer, right? And even guys, so let me tell you that I also took some of my colleagues' PhD project in order to do a kind of data analysis with what I'd learned. Right, so even before getting placed, I'd already began working. Right, so this kind of thing, these kind of this kind of dedication and hard work that I displayed was the main factor for me being able to switch from my assistant professorship field into the machine learning field. And believe me, if I can, then even you can. Right. So yeah, that's about my journey. That was about my journey.
I think lot of wisdom to unpack there. So
Yeah.
when we talk about journey again, I think coming from a mechanical background, you laid emphasis on the technical side, the practice side. So other than that, I would like to know, like, so oftentimes when we discuss, say, about the value that data science brings to the table, a lot of focus shifts on the difficult to achieve, like the machine learning and the AI side, right? But I'd argue that 80% of the value in data science comes from data-driven decision making at scale, and this is where communication and storytelling comes into picture, equipping the decision makers to with proper context and insight, to make a informed decision. So I would definitely want to pick your brains on what are the most sought after skills needed to be a successful analyst or a data scientist.
Yeah, so that's a nice question. Actually, this thing is actually searched by everyone who decides to join in the machine learning field, right? What basically happens is that the most sorted after skills, right? There are a lot of more sorted after skills, right? But the basic ones that you require, first of all, guys, how let's just talk about how data science work, and I'll tell with that flow, I'll tell you what are the skills required, right? So first of all, if at all you get the data, right? If at all you get into a company, right, you are assigned a client, right? You are assigned a client, you are given the data. The first thing that the company gives you is the problem statement, right? The first thing that the company gives you is the problem statement. So you should be understanding enough in order to decipher what that problem statement basically is, right? So basically you should have that understanding skills, that if at all you are being given a problem statement, you need to understand what that thing exactly means, right? What that thing exactly means, because it is the problem statement based upon which a data scientist actually finalizes his approach towards working, right? So problem statement, this thing is an important. Just for an example, a very small example we'll take. If at all I'm working with a banking domain, right? If at all I'm working with a banking domain, and they give me the data set, right? This is very common example, right? If at all they give me a data set that contains data of all the previous loan applicants, right? And they are kind of classified into whether they have defaulted or they have not defaulted. They are regular payers, right? So the problem statement that the bank is going to give me, yeah, yeah. First slide is still visible. Right. Okay, fine. Okay, it was you. Ekta. Fine. Okay, so the problem statement that they are going to give me is that if at all I do have any applications, if at all I do have any application, any new applications that are coming, you need to decide an algo. You need to write an algorithm that is kind of going to predict. I'll say kind of, right? Because machine learning algorithms with 100% accuracy is a myth, right? First of all, this is a myth.
Hmm.
So they'll tell me it should kind of have a good accuracy. So 85 to 90% is considered to be a fine accuracy. So let's not talk about the technical stuff. But the thing is, they asked me to write an algorithm which is going to predict whether the customer or the new application is going to be kind of a defaulter or non-defaulter, right? So this is the problem statement that you need to emphasize on, right? You should be understanding. Now this problem statement that I've told in front of you is very basic. There are much more complex problem statement
Hmm.
when it comes to actual life, right? Like working with industry, right? So first thing, you need to have that understanding skills in order to understand the problem statement, right? Secondly, once you have the data in your hand, second thing you need to have is the curiosity. This thing is very important, curiosity, right? Because now guys, I'm a technical guy, right? I'm a technical guy. If I get a bank data, if I get data from a bank, if I get data from medical healthcare, they don't expect me to know everything about what bank data is. They don't expect me to know what
Hmm.
delinquencies are, right? Or neither the medical healthcare people want me to understand, expect me to understand what systolic and diastolic blood pressure is, right? But that curiosity should be inside you, or should be inside me, in order to understand that what these data points stand for. At least the data points that you have, that you've got, you should at least be able to understand what they stand for, what they are, right? So number two is curiosity, right? Now this curiosity leads to domain knowledge, which is point number third, right? Curiosity leads to domain knowledge. So if I'm working for a bank, right? If I'm working with a bank data as a technical guy, I should be able to get into their crack into their domain knowledge using my curiosity, right? So basically, once after having known the variable, then what domain knowledge means, I should be able to understand, or I should be able to decipher how that credit score is calculated, for instance, right?
Hmm.
I should be able
Correct.
to understand how that credit score is calculated, right? So this is the domain knowledge. No one, I'm again repeating, no one is going to ask for domain knowledge before hiring. They don't, because they know engineering guys will not have domain knowledge, right? Will not have domain knowledge. But if you don't, I mean, if you don't know what loan is, then that is a big issue, right? I
Hmm.
mean, that's not expected. At least
Hmm.
this much is the general knowledge, right? But how to calculate a credit score, that will be taught to you in the company, but you need to be curious for that, right? So from curiosity, you do have domain knowledge. Next, you do have the analytical skills. This thing is very important. You do have the
Mm,
analytical skills. So basically, suppose let's take an example of real estate price, right? So if at all my flat values, right, or the apartment values, they are kind of increasing with the interiors used, right, or they are varying with the square feet area of the flat, or they are varying with the area where the flat location is, apartment location is, right? So you should be analytical enough in order to derive such relations between multiple variables, right? You should be analytical enough, so in order to visualize, okay, this variable, okay, so my flight so my apartment cost is kind of increasing with the square feet area, right? Again, I'm saying this is very basic example that I'm telling. This thing, so even a fifth standard, sixth standard guy will be able to tell you, right? But when it comes to actual data, it is complex, right? So basically, the next thing that you need to have is analytic skills, right? You need to be a good analyzer of the data, right? You need to be a good analyzer of the data. Then comes your problem solving skills, right? Problem solving skills, because believe me, when you work with the data, or when you work as a machine learning engineer and crunch that data, right? When you crunch that data, more than satisfactory results, the data throws error at you, or your script is going to throw error at you. So you should have that problem solving skills in order to understand where that error is going to come from, or what that data is saying, right? Sometimes might happen that even it actually happened to me. Instead of when I was working with the IT healthcare, instead of the blood pressure values, I got pin codes, right? So this kind of silly things happen, right? So basically, you need to figure out where exactly that problem is coming, and you should be capable enough to solve that problem, right? Then according to me, then it comes like, once you have all the data fit, then you should be okay, then deciphering the result that comes under analysis. So basically, number 6 would be, you should be good at statistics, right? You should be good at statistics. And when you join Alma Better, if you see, first they teach you Python, then they teach you statistics. Why is it so? It is because they understand that when you write a machine learning algorithm and try to decipher it, right, try to decipher the results, it is the statistics that are going to help you, right? It is the statistics that are going to help you. Again, I'm repeating that everyone is not good at statistics, but practice and hard work is going to make you good at that, right? So you should be good at statistics. Then after that, you should be good at coding, obviously, right? Now this thing is very obvious, because the entire thing that you're going to do is on Python script, right? So you should be good at scripting. If I ignore that, if we ignore that, then that's going to be a blunder. So you should be good at scoring. And then, in the last but not the least, again, very important one is your soft skills, right? Now, guys, tell me, the PPT that you are seeing in front of you, this PPT has been created by we people, right? This PPT has been created by we people, whosoever it is created by. But the thing is, if I keep this PowerPoint presentation just in my laptop, is it going to be of any use? No, it's not going to be. That's a flat answer. It's not going to be of any use, right? You need to open up that PPT. You need to kind of display it in front of the world, right? Then it is going to get into use, right? So similarly, the analysis that a machine learning engineer does, or a data analyst does, the analysis that you do, the predictions that you have, the backend of the algorithm that's been running, what all variables have been considered as important, what are variables it has kept aside, how exactly it's predicting, and basically, importantly, how these prediction and analysis is going to have an impact on the business, right? These things need to be communicated to the end user, right? If you're working on a bank data, you're analyzing everything, you're creating hodgepodge graphs and big things, and you're using keras and all these types of big algorithms, and then simply when you display your results, right? When you display your results, the bank manager asks that what is the use of this analysis to us? And at that time, if
Hmm.
you're going to go mum, then it will be a funny situation, right? Because all the things, all the hard work that you've been doing over the past time, you're not able to explain them. You're not able to explain them. So communication of your result, be it analysis, be it machine learning prediction, whatsoever it is, communication of those results to the end user is equally important, right? So these are some of the basic skills that I think are some of the most important skills a data scientist actually needs to have.
Right. I hope, Ritik, that answers your question. So, out of all the skills that you mentioned, uh, Pinak, what one do you think should be the first, should be my emphasis on while I jump into the ship of data?
Yeah. Basically, yeah, all those skills are equally important. But the thing is, guys, you will learn how to code, right? You will learn how to code. You will kind of you will learn statistics. You learn the domain knowledge. Everything can be learned. But the important thing, according to me, one most important thing, according to me, is the soft skill. Why? Because the thing is, like, when you are kind of displaying your results, right, when you're kind of done with all your analysis, all your writing algorithms and all these things, what you need to do is either you need to present that in front of the management, or you need to present that in front of your client. And believe me, 95% people in this world are have are afraid of this stage, right? They are afraid of this stage. Basically what happens is they are when they move on stage, or when they go to presentations, they are kind of not able to communicate. And this thing, lack of communication, this thing is going to hamper. Now guys, what I want to emphasize on is communicate properly. I'm not asking you to learn English and use all that high-fi foreign accents and all these things, right? That is not required out of you. At least you should be able to put in front of the end user what exactly your findings are, what exactly you have done in the past time, what exactly your predictions are going to do, and overall how exactly this all process that you have been doing, this is going to impact their business in proper way. This thing is what is the utmost important. Why? Because we get projects because of clients, and if we are not able to give the story to the clients, if we are not able to give the story to the management, if you suppose I do have a lead, right, who is facing the client, right? If I'm not able to understand, make him or her understand what I've done and what all these things mean, then she's also even she's going to give half baked information in front of the final client, right? Now is this thing going to help? This is actually not going to help. That client will, if at all such a thing is going to happen, he'll hold his head and he'll say, I'm not coming to you again, right? Now this thing should not happen, right? This thing should not happen. So basically all these skills can be honed, but important is how you talk, how you present yourself, what you have done in front of the management or the end client, right? So according to me all skills are equally important, but if I want to give some weightage, I will give it to your communication skills, right? How exactly you present whatever you have. As I told you, if you analyze, if you make predictions and keep it in your system, then that is going to be of no use to the external world. You need to, in order of people to understand, in order of people
Hmm.
to understand, you need to communicate it out, right? Yeah.
Right, right. Just to add on Pinak's point, I think all the different skills that we mentioned, like the coding and all of those things, there is one part where you might have seen a lot of memes around, data scientists Googling stuff out, and half of their job is, through Google. Like, that's for sure. And that's very true. All of these things could be very easily, we live in a virtual world. It can be very easily, fetched, and say you are stuck in a problem. There are a lot of Quora and different Stack Overflows. Everybody is aware that you just put in your problems, and there are similar problems everybody is facing, and you might have a lot of solutions to it and number of approaches to solve the same problem. Now, all of these things could be fetched, but the one that you need to, when you are done with your analysis and you come out with an output, the one that you need to present is something that you can never copy from Google, or never copy from, or rely on, your stakeholders or anybody or the colleagues that you work with to reply, to talk about. That is something that you will have to do on your own, and that is something that you have to get on a stage, be it in a real life scenario or be it on a Zoom call. You have to take the stage and you have to talk. At that time, Google is not going to help you out. At that time, everything is going to be there, but it's just you, how you communicate and how you put out stuff. So
Exactly.
understand the differences between all of these skills that can be, taken help from different sources, and skills that need to be there with you as a part of your character. So also, like as Pinak mentioned, that learning your time, or focusing majorly on your time on learning new words in English, or learning those slangs, or those accents, or those foreign accents, won't actually be fruitful for you. But rather, focusing on what you want to actually communicate, what you're communicating, is it
Exactly.
interpreted in the same tone, is it interpreted in the same direction by the other person. So that's primarily important. Like, तुम कहना क्या चाहते हो वो सामने वाले को समझ रहा है, ये is more important as compared to you do it in Hindi, you do it in English, you do it in Urdu, you do it in Punjabi, or you do it through isharon mein. Any of those things, irrespective of that, is the other person able to get your tone? Is he able to understand your pulse? Is what matters.
Yeah.
English to सीख ही जाओगे. That is going to be a part of it. But all of these honing, it becomes a part of your character.
Guys, just
So
leave out that isharo wala part. That's dangerous, actually.
why so, Pinak?
I was just trying to create a humor. It was a PG, sorry. Okay.
All right. Okay. So we have a lot of questions coming in, and I think, what other sectors where we can apply for in data science?
Uh, as it comes to machine learning, as it comes to machine learning, as it comes to application of data science is being applied everywhere, nearly everywhere, right? So you do have the driverless cars, right? Tesla and all. What do you think that is? That is machine learning, right? That is machine learning. So that is why Tesla, Mercedes, big companies, big shots are hiring data scientists, right? Then in US medical healthcare, no, not only US, but
Hmm.
overall medical healthcare. Now, I'll just for a small example, I'll tell you, Google is actually developing an image scanning algorithm which will scan the image of your retina, and based upon the retinal images, it's going to predict what all diseases or what all health conditions can you'll be able to you are going to catch in the future. Now this is how
Interesting.
advanced. Yeah, yeah. There was a lecture by Sundar Pichai regarding the same, right? So again, I mean, in healthcare, it has gone so very advanced, right? Then in banking, we do have machine learning for a long time, and will keep on using it. In production, we do have machine learning, the automated thing and all these things, right? Where are these coming from? These codes are actually run, the all this thing that's run behind is the machine learning, right? So nearly in every sector, if you see, these are four core sectors, right? Including, now, even if I tell you that the Spirit rover that has gone to that Spirit rover that has gone to Mars, right? Sent by NASA, even that is kind of intelligent, this thing, right? Kind of an intelligent bot. And they are now, NASA is even planning to send an intelligent bot to space expedition, right? It's just going to leave it into space, right? Travel for eternity, and wherever, if at all it's encountered by any extraterrestrial life, they will understand that somewhere there is some civilization that's existing, right? So this is the extent to which machine learning has gone. So basically, I don't find this machine learning to be kind of restricted to a single sector, one sector, right? with with time, the progressing is going to be done, right? The progressions are going to be done, and with that progression means machine learning is going to be incorporated in every field, right? Now within some time you'll have even robots making movies, right? Making movies and documentaries. So it is
Hmm.
not a single field. It is kind of many a fields, and everywhere you go you'll find some or the other part which is being dealt using machine learning. So this cannot be answered using one or two parts, but yes, if I want to answer the major sectors that are using, those are your banking sector, healthcare sector, automotive sectors, right? They are kind of using it very extensively.
Right. So I think we've gone little off road. We've tried addressing a lot of questions. I think let's move in that direction itself and address as many questions as we can today, Pinak,
Oh,
of
yeah, sure.
people, because we see that you have a lot of information to give and we really want to take in all of those and soak in them.
The thing is, guys, I do have information to give because I do have those experiences. So I'll be able to communicate. I communicate my experience. It becomes an information for you. Exactly the same thing
Very
that
interesting.
my data for my machine learning algorithm is its experience, and it's an information for it is our experience. It's an information for him, right? Yeah. So
Very, very
yeah,
interesting.
we can move
Right. So, one of our member and one of our friend here asks, so Mohammed asks, I don't have any of the basic coding skill. Will I be able to join data science course?
Mohammed, as I told you, I come from core mechanical background, and it was for years together. I did not even touch the laptop, just apart from the presentations. Right, I was not a gaming buff. Right, so I did not even touch the laptop. So if you are saying that you do have no experience in coding, just imagine. I did not have experience in handling the laptop also. That's kind of exaggeration, right? But
Yeah,
still,
we
I
get the
mean, I
point.
mean, you are on the same phase, on as I was when I was like 4 to 5 years ago, right? So just again, I'm telling you, if at all you don't have mathematics skills, if you don't have statistics skills, if you don't have the communication skills, don't underestimate yourself. It is not that you will not be able to get into this field. just that just that one key that you need to require, that you require, is dedication and working towards it, right? Because the thing is, today you are saying you don't have coding skills. 1 month practice good on any of the Kaggle, HackerRank, HackerNerd, and
Excuse
come
me.
back to me. You'll say that I've at least I'm able to decipher complex codes. You will be able to do it. Yeah.
That's true. Yes. So, one of our friend asks how much. So Nihar here asks how many months will it take to complete the data science course on an average?
On an average, see, Nihar, if you're working, then on an average, if you are a working guy, then it might take you somewhere between 6 to 8 months, right? I'm kind of assuming that you'll be enjoying your life and not just into the computer 24/7, right? Else it's going to hamper your eyesight, right? Don't do that. So if at all you enjoy your life and all these things, but just wherever you get some space, right? Some space. Have all those recreations and everything, but wherever you get some space, get into writing codes, right? Now, if this is your pace, then it might take somewhere between 6 to 8 months. And if you're not working, then mastering a data not mastering, right? Not mastering, completing a data science. Because, guys, the thing is, like, even people who have worked for 20 years in this field, right? Even they will not consider themselves master. So telling you how much time it takes to master, that will be wrong. Completing this course with a proper understanding will somewhat take you between for 3 to 4 months. That should be.
I would just like to add a follow-up question that Pradeep has: is AlmaBetter course enough for landing jobs and like the overall course enough for the learning?
Uh, exactly. Pradeep, the thing is like if you look at the curriculum of Alma Better, they are actually going to provide you everything that is required by a data scientist apart from your soft skills. Right now, basically the thing is like soft skill cannot be like hammered into your brain, or they cannot be they if I'm mastering English, or if Ekta has mastered English, that does not mean that you will be able to talk English. Or if at all me or Ekta is able to communicate well in front of 100 people, right, be it whatever language it is, right, be it whatever language it is, if at all we are able to put our ideas, that does not guarantee that you will be able to do, right. That thing, honing of soft skill, be it any language, should be your part, right. Apart from that, all the curriculum that you need for machine learning is provided by Alma Better. Yes, they do it, and I'm fairly confident that they do have really good trainers to do that.
Good content. Yeah, and the content is also something that is
Exactly.
always updated and is with the industry,
Yes,
par with the
exactly.
industry.
It's par
Like,
with the industry standards. Exactly.
I think, Pinak, lot of folks that we have joining today, our friends are from mechanical. Mohammed, Nihar, the Pradeep, all are core mechanical folks, and all they want to ask is, when they switch from, mechanical to data science, will that affect their salary? Will that affect their overall compensation? If you could throw some light there.
Um, see, guys. Yeah. Um, the thing is like the thing is like when you get I'll be frank enough, right. When you get from your core field, right, when you get from core field into your this thing, right, suppose into machine learning, right. Now that is equivalent to if you're riding a motorcycle, will you directly be able to ride a car very fast, right. Now, this thing why I'm giving you is that even industry experts understand that if you are coming from a mechanical background, this thing is going to be new for you. Okay, although you might have handle clients there and everything, but the thing is, mechanical engineering, this side is different, and machine learning or IT, this side is different, right. Dealing with the clients, dealing with the data, working with the data, everything changes, right. It changes a lot. So yes,
Yeah.
there will be some difference, right. There will be some difference. Might be, you might not get a hike on your existing salary. That might happen, right. That might happen, right. I'm not saying that will happen, but that might happen. Now supposedly, if you guys are working in mechanical right now, there's a plus point to this, right. There's a plus point to this. If you're working with mechanical engineering, right, if you're working with some automobile company XYZ, right, and if there are there are big shot companies in India, like we do have Accenture, we do have Infi, we do have TCS, all these things. If at all they are working, if at all they have got a project from a mechanical industry in order to apply some machine learning techniques to them, then they will look you as an option. They will look to you as an option. Why? Because you provide the mechanical skills, as well as you have honed the machine learning abilities as well, right. So that is the case where you'll be benefited. But if you are getting into core IT, then I won't guarantee you that you will get a hike on that. You will be able to get, that is for sure, but the thing is, you will get a hike on that or not, it's exactly I cannot comment about that. But the thing is, if you kind of work with some mechanical engineering project wherein machine learning, suppose you are hired by Tesla, then you are directly going to get a very good hike on your existing salary if you come from a machine learning background, right. Yeah.
Right. So, does that mean that even if I have a gap between them, so when I switch from, say, non-data science background to data science background, I might, as you mentioned, do not leave your job and study. That's a suicide mission. But just in case I am somebody who wants to focus completely on data science, or I was preparing for, say, some IAS or something, and I have a gap in between my career, Will I still be able to get a job in data science? Will I still be in a good position? In fact, will
Yes,
companies hire me in the first place
it
since
they will hire you. But the thing is that gap should be, I'll be straightforward enough. That gap should be justifiable, guys. Right? That gap should be justifiable. If you are working, like if you have some issues because of which you have lost your 2 years, right? Or if you are preparing for any exam, then it is justifiable, right? It is justifiable. You will be able to justify. But suppose an example, don't take it offensive or personal, right? Suppose an example, if at all I do have a guy, a friend of mine who has completed engineering in 10 years, right? Now this gap was a 10 minus 4, 4 years for engineering, 6 years he wasted, right? So this 6 years of gap, so do whatever you want. Any condition cannot last for 6 years, right? So this gap will not be able to be justified, right? So a justifiable gap with reasons, you can very well get a job. That's perfectly fine, right? But if at all there has been a time waste, then you'll have to think hard on justifying your gap, right? But the thing is, what I am talking about is not only true for machine learning, but throughout the industry. Go anywhere, they will question you about your gap. Go in mechanical, go in IT, go in ETC, or anywhere. Go in industrial engineering, go for MBA, go whatsoever it is. They are going to ask your gap, but just that it should be justifiable. You should have proper adequate reasons. If you have, then you're well off. Then you'll be hired.
I hope that answers your question, Pankaj, Saroj. All of your questions are answered
Guys, gap
there.
is not a bad thing, right? Sorry, not to interrupt. Guys,
No issues.
gap is not a bad thing, right? There might be some situation. Everyone understands, man, right? Everyone understands, because the people who are hiring, right? The people who are the CEOs, the people who are the founders of the company, even they are humans. They understand that such thing can happen, so they accept these things, right? But again, it should be justifiable. It should be justifiable, right? Yeah.
Okay. So I think Biswajit had been raising his hand for a very long time. Biswajit, do you want to ask your question?
Yeah. Biswajit, I
I
guess you're
think,
on mute. Can you
yeah, you
please
are on
unmute
mute.
yourself if you're talking?
Okay, I think meanwhile Biswajit is overall so again Nihar again asks another question. Does my MTech degree get me some benefits in data science job while joining? So I'd like to just overall mention this, irrespective of BTech, MTech, or you do PhD, the fun part of data science is there is no particular degree that is going to get you in. It's more about how you build your portfolio, what projects you've worked on in your spare time that might help you get out. I have an added advantage as compared to the other folks that who are trying to get into the scene. Now, if you talk about is your degree going to help you some benefit in joining? Definitely yes. So, say suppose as Pinak has done engineering in mechanical, and he happens to, so he just mentioned that every company is into data now. It's become a common sense. It's more like a a data sense decisions that people want to take irrespective of any of the industry you are in. Now, say you have done your MTech degree in mechanical engineering and you happen to go into, say, Slumberger or some core mechanical companies, and they happen to do the same data science. They happen to do the same projects in data. Now, the point is, you, since knowing the domain knowledge and have a very strong hold on it, might just help understand all the different data points. Like Pinang just mentioned, say, every data points is something that you have to, based on your curiosity, say I am not from a mechanical background, but since I'll be working with, say, Slumberger or any of those mechanical companies, I'll have to go understand the domain and then come back and maybe not even relate to the problem that much. But you, coming from that background, you have been into the industry, you know the core problems, every part of every different dimensions of mechanical, core mechanical engineering. So that might actually give you an added edge and a very extra benefit as compared to the other people who are applying for the same thing. If I'm right, Nihar, if I'm right, Pinak, do you want to add something to Nihar?
No, actually, what you said is perfect answer to what Nihal is asking. The thing is, again, guys, if at all you are from mechanical, not only mechanical background, from any background, as I told you that machine learning is now being applied to nearly every what you call every industry, right? So basically, the thing is, not only from mechanical background, come from any background, what may it is, if you're kind of hired, if you're a mechanical engineer and you're hired into Tesla, right? Now what does Tesla do?
Hmm.
Tesla is a mechanical company, right? Tesla is a mechanical company that creates cars, right? And with that, now it's going to integrate a machine learning into its cars to make intelligent driverless cars, right? To make driverless cars. Okay. So basically, in such a case, if you are, if at all you are hired into if at all you are hired into Tesla, then the thing that is going to happen is that you are going to get a hike. Why? Because you have both the skills. You have worked in as a mechanical engineer, and secondly, you do have machine learning skills, right? So you're kind of bringing an addition of both the skills into yourself, and you're kind of a super skill set for them, right? So they are going to hire you at a high package, right? But that only would happen if you go for Tesla, right? Or for any mechanical company, for that instance, which is integrating machine learning into itself, right? Now if you get into some banking sector, then your mechanical experience, needless to
Hmm.
say, is not going to hold
Help you
any
out.
value to them, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So a lot of folks are revolving around Alma Better's program, and all of them are asking if Sanjay asks here, Alma Better provides a certification or a PG diploma course, or what is it about? Could you throw some light on the courses that we talk about?
Um, it's basically it's all related to machine learning engineering, and yes, they do provide you certification course, yes, and that certification course will have value, right? It's not that it's not going to have value, but the thing is, in the end, we do have a curriculum, right? We do have a curriculum that is decided, and for that curriculum, we do have a certain stipulated amount of time period that we can give, right? Else, if I say if I begin taking Python and going into depth, then I can just keep on teaching you Python for more than 2 years, right? And which is not the amount of time either of you or me have, right? If you
Hmm.
want to get into the industry, you'll have to complete this course within 6 to 8 months and then start hunting for a job, right? This is not an MBA degree wherein you can spend 2 months and then the college is going to get you placed, right? This is a professional course, right? So basically, this needs to be completed into a stipulated amount of time. So uh, we can do our part at the best. What you need to do is prepare from your side. Apart from that, the certification course, the placement assistance is going to be provided by Alma Better, and they have it mentioned clearly in their website, right? So don't worry about this thing. You'll get these two things, right?
Right, right. So just to add on it, I think the access to learning material is something, is for lifetime, and that's a very added advantage. Like
Yeah.
once you enroll for it, it's something that you are going to, be accessible, or you can fetch the, information just in case say you've studied, it's been a long time that you've studied time series modeling, for example,
Right.
and currently you've been deployed on any project that it requires you to, work on it. So more or less, it's you can any day go back, just look out for your favorite lecturers, and look at their sections and just refresh your memory, and then just come back. So more or less, it's when you enroll for the program, they for sure Alma Better promises you with a placement guarantee and all of those things. But again, there's a limit to things like. So there are a lot of self-paced courses that they offer. There are a lot of, guided courses, like you need to deadline courses that you need to finish in AlmaBetter. So again, when we talk about placement guarantee, the the expectation from the students is, within 12 months you complete the courses. Like, Kedar asks how much time do we need to dedicate for every module of data science. There is already a planned roadmap that is given to you. But again, if you try to complete that roadmap within 12 months, that is when you can enroll for the placement programs. And there's a proper Alma X program that helps you guarantee a placement about a particular package, which is a very handsome package that they help you with. So a lot of different, different integrations, different communications. You get to communicate with a lot of your peers, not just from mentor or one-on-one learning, but also, you get to study through, just discuss things with your peers, same people who are studying. So it's something that, to make you get to meet new people who are also on the same pace and who are also on the same path of, learning data science and all of those things. So I would say overall, it's a very enriching experience. Um, right. So I think also Prashant asks when blockchain course is coming on. Very soon, Prashant. I think we're going to launch in April, and we're all very excited for it. And let's hope for the, a great launch. So, I think one of the questions is, again, Nihar asked, is you mentioned about soft skills. How do you improve your soft skills when you were learning? How did you happen to do that?
Yeah. The thing is like, Nihar, the thing is like, honing of the soft skills, right? Honing of the soft skills is actually what should be done from one's individual side, right? So basically, some tips I can give you to improve your soft skills, right? It's like that. First of all, in order to remove your stage fear, you can kind of stand in front of mirror. This is the beginning, right? This is what I'm talking about, beginning. So in the beginning, what you can do, either you can just stand up and start talking, assuming that there are people standing in front of you. Else you go and stand in front of your mirror. So basically, when you go and stand in front of your mirror, there is one person who is listening to you, and it's you, right? It's you. So basically,
Hmm.
you're able to see someone who is standing in front of you, who is listening to you, right? So do that. Once you gain some confidence using that, speaking in front of a single person, try it with your family members, right? Try it with your family members. So one thing I'd like to focus over here is that soft skill does not explicitly mean it is about English, right? No, this thing is not correct, right? So there can be regional languages where many companies do use regional languages, right? So but the thing is, talking in that regional languages and comment and basically communicating your findings, be it in the regional language, be it in Hindi, be it in English, whatsoever it is. What matters is how you communicate, right? So you can kind of do it like standing in front of mirror, then go in front of your family people. There you'll be able to, if you're able to kind of give a good speech or communicate better, then
Hmm.
you can go to
Correct.
some kind of you can listen to some kind of elocutions, right? Winston Churchill was one of the best orators in this world, right? So you can kind of listen to some of his speeches, right? And develop that self confidence, right? And wherever, if you come across any of such orating competitions, like extempore competition or elocution competition, you can, if at all you come across, you can
Hmm.
very well get on that stage and use it to your benefit, right? So these are this is a subtle pathway in order to hone your communication skills. And again,
Right.
I'm not talking about English, it's exclusively, be it English, be it in your regional
Got it.
language, be
Yeah.
it in Hindi.
Right. I think what we're trying to say is understand effective communication is one of the very powerful ways to build trust. Like, of course, followed by actions, of course, followed by delivering your promises, your product, or developing. But if you're not communicating effectively, you are not building trust. And if people cannot trust you, especially for our young friends who are looking out for jobs, or people who are in their first jobs, or folks who are very new in leadership positions, if people can't develop a human connection with you, if people can't trust you because you don't communicate well, or because you do not open up easily, please remember, you would not be able to go that far. Having technical skills, you'll hone you'll have the best backend skills, but even if you might have great domain skills, because we human beings do not operate on logic, we operate on emotion. So this is really really important. And I would say, as Pinak mentioned, practice, practice, practice as much as you can. It's very important that we understand that it's like a learning process. Like, just like you play any sport, you say cooking, for example, or anything else. That is a skill, right? That you develop with sufficient practice. Use a mirror if you have, stand in front of the mirror and try to speak in a convincing way. So there were times,
Exactly.
I'll tell you about myself, how did I improve. There were times where all of my previous managers I used to work with, very smart people, but the minute they started speaking, it was just too fast. Like, there were times I used to just get overwhelmed with the amount of knowledge, or the amount of information they used to give us. So it just so happened that I started recording the sessions. I started uh, conversing and just try to understand what they're trying to say, and just record my own sessions while I talk to them. So video recording, record your Zoom meetings or your team meetings. Now that we're moving into virtual world, spend some time reviewing it. Like, a very very important thing that we miss out is, look at yourself. Could like, in the same meetings, like, not just other than your speaking, look at yourself. Could the camera have been positioned better in the Zoom meeting? Could my lighting have been better? Or could I have improved my sounds in some way? What are the gaps? What were the missed opportunities? So review these, do a little communication audit on yourself, learn from your own mistakes. Like, it's very important. Like, it's a process of developing, right? There's no, you're going to make mistakes. You are, leave room for errors. People are going to understand entirely different from what you say. Like, there were times where I wanted to say, X thing, and I happened to say Y thing. So it happens, it's a process. But talking to a camera is a very wonderful thing. Like, I used to do that a lot. Like, if you are able to make a lifeless object, say a mirror and a lens, convince what you're trying to say, it's very easy. You're going to convince any human being. And talking about, as Pinak mentioned, communication and English speaking, two very different things. I keep telling this to every student that I meet. It's a very different things. Like, the major focus should be, how do you communicate, or how do you keep your value on the table. अपनी बात समझाने का तरीका सीखे. Like, आज English आ जाएगी साथ साथ. ये दो very very different things. Like, सारा focus, अपनी बात को इस तरीके से रखना ताकि दूसरा व्यक्ति उसे समझ जाए बहुत ही आराम से. Like, it's a very in a very easy and chunkable, you know format, where even if I coming from an executive background, or I coming from leadership, I should be, very easily be able to understand what are you trying to say, irrespective of, you taking up. Because, to summarize, what we're trying to say is, for people who, like, whoever you want to communicate, say you are sitting in an interview, or you're sitting for, you're pitching a new use case to the client. So people do not have much patience, okay, specifically for analytics and, understanding the technical words and jargons. So storytelling can be a great influence. It's not going to win you that bet. It's not going to give you what you want maybe in return, or it's not going to give you $1 million business, but maybe it might give you an added advantage. As in, it if you present the right information in the right format. Say, let's take an example, a statement like, 100 people in US will die prematurely in the next 24 hours, say, due to flu outbreak. That's a statement, okay, that's a statement. Is This statement is likely to capture anyone's attention, rather than presenting the same statement through graphs showing death trends in the previous year due to like the flu outbreak, and then predicting the future death rate because of the flu outbreak. All of these is fine, all of these is something that you're backing up your statement. But if you start with these, nobody is going to pay attention. In the first 5 seconds, I need to know what is my takeaway. My takeaway was 100 people are going to die because in the next 24 hours because of the flu outbreak. That's my takeaway. I should know what decision I need to take. It's very easy to convince people who are on the verge of decision making through the right data, but it requires, the right storyboarding, the right storytelling, not just crunching numbers and showing the trends and graphs. That's the difference between what you do in the back end, what you do when you sit on your table and work on things, and what you actually go and speak. That's a very, very, very difference, because you keep doing hidden trials, you are going to keep doing experiments, but that all is going to only be effective and valuable to any decision makers if you can put it in the right way out there. So I hope we cleared how do we practice, how do we hone, and why is that important? Why is not running around the bush and just beating around the point is very lay, as compared to just going straight to the point and letting people know that this is going to happen. And then when people want to, oh, is it, 100 people are going to die. Oh, that is when you catch the interest. That is where you make your story engaging. And then that is where people dwell in. And they would be like, okay, how do we now do about it? What is your how do you prove this? Like, what is your data point? That is when you get into, you've got their attention, and now you get into it. Same goes when you're explaining your project. Same goes when you're explaining any of the, the interesting problem statement that you've worked in any interview. You happen to tell them what's the problem statement and what was your impact. You help them solve, say, a problem where you've saved 50% inventory cost of a company. That is something that is very exciting. Now tell me, how did you do it? That is when I'll be interested, rather than you telling me, oh, you know what, we did customer, we understood our target, we did customer segmentation, then we understood, oh, such if I have my store in, say, GK main market, or if I have a store in Sarojini Nagar, how is that going to be different? And then you come to the point, I am just already bored and I am out of the scene and I'm no more listening to you. So understand how do you grab attentions, how understand how do you what are your strengths while you're talking. So if your voice is something that is, you can modulate accordingly, or if you can immediately pick up on the emotions or the, the facial expressions of people on the call, and you just pick up on them. So there are different things that you can hone while these soft skills where we talk about, rather than just, English seekte hai, chalo, improve our vocabulary, let's add more words to it, let's make our vocabulary more fancier. Every day I come across resumes where people have written very fancy words just to explain a simple algorithm called linear regression. I do not expect you to do that. Just write straight to the point. There is no brownie points for you to use fancy words out there. I hope from our experience, we could help you understand what are the essentials that you need to focus across. Right? Pinak, do you want to
No, no, no,
agree,
not,
disagree?
no, no, no. I agree to every point that you say. So basically, the guys, thing is like when you do have your end client or the end user who is listening to what you're saying, then you need to hone that skill of keeping him intrigued into your conversation, right? You need to keep him intrigued. So basically, if I just go on ranting about all the all those statistics and all these things to him, then he's going to get bored, right? And if at all I do have the end manager, okay, so the end client who is a bank manager, and in front of him I'm like just blabbering all those machine learning things. This is decision tree, this is how it works, then entropy and bootstrapping and all these things. He's not going to understand even a single thing, right? So basically you need to understand, if I'm talking to a bank manager, then I should talk with him in his terms, right? In the terms that he will understand. If you keep on talking about machine learning, then I bet you that within half an hour he's just going to sleep, right? Then you'll have to use a fire alarm to wake him up. So in order to avoid such condition, you need to have audience intrigued into your conversation, and that is where you'll ace this practice of the honing skills of your soft skills. Yeah.
Right. I think we are way ahead of our time and we've passed more than 15 minutes. But overall, I think Aditi, Shreyas, all of you are trying to understand, again, the gap thing. I hope we've explained the gap thing. It's not a bad thing unless you are justifying for it. There's no such thing as, other than that, are you doing it right or not? Is that justifiable? Will that affect my job? It's not until you have a proper explanation to it. Do not worry about it. Dishant asks, currently I'm in a machine learning module. Any suggestions before I take advanced competency challenges as I'm not sure whether I'll be able to clear it or not? I think attend every session that you can and have one-on-one sessions with the mentors, with different peers, and try to understand. I am pretty sure, if you attend all of these sessions, advanced competencies is just going to be a cakewalk for you. Right, I think we've pretty much covered mechanical background. I think we've covered a lot of different things today. Overall, I think we do not want to overload our audience with data or information, but I hope the content or what we're trying to say has been reached out. Not enough space, again, I would say, for people to practice, but again, it's something that you develop over time and keep having casual conversations. Whatever you worked on, try to have a casual conversation with your parents, with your siblings, and help them understand. If they can understand, I think anybody can then. One of I think my father used to tell me this a lot, that to teach is to learn twice. So if you keep, if you learn and you keep telling it to your you keep just have a random casual conversation with your friend. You're talking over phone and just let him or her understand what you worked on today. And if you can do that, I think you are good to go with any audience. So that being said, I think a lot of the different questions that we have here are we have answered it in previous sessions as well. You'll find all the, we have created a playlist. You can find all your questions there if you want. Usually in the end of the sessions, we take Q&A. But since we had our guru here today from AlmaBetter, I think we just decided on taking as many questions as we could. Thank you so much, Pinak. It was really nice talking to you. I think I cannot just, we can just not stop taking questions, and always nice to have a discussion with you, Pinak.
Thanks, Ekta. Thanks, every one of you, for having me on this show. It was nice, and
Thank you,
I would
everyone.
appreciate if my experiences come to your use, because I have experienced that, and you can use it as an information to move ahead in the future. It will always be nice. Thanks, every one of you, for
Thank
me this
you.
opportunity.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much for everyone for all your engaging and interesting questions. I hope we could solve as many as we could. Kedar here says Pinak is a great teacher. Thanks to all your lectures.
Oh, thanks, Kedar.
So,
Thanks,
thank you.
everyone. Thanks, everyone. Who's come.
Thank you. It was a very, very nice session. I hope we could answer as many questions as we could. And if we didn't, please join us in the next week again, and let's hear new sessions and just hear more about how do you enter in this space, and as many questions as you can could be answered.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Have a great Saturday.
Yeah,
Bye
thanks all.
bye.
Have a nice weekend. Thank you.